Hello and welcome back to the lecture series on oxidation and reduction. Yesterday we have seen few oxidizing reagent. Now today we will see some mechanism, but prior to that I will revise few things and then we will go to the mechanism part. So first of all, the meaning of oxidation and reduction. Oxidation is a process of losing electrons, whereas reduction is gain of electrons. Oxidation is addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Similarly, reduction is removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen. So those are the broad definitions. Now regarding organic compounds, we have seen how to calculate the oxidation state of carbon, and accordingly you can see that the reaction is oxidation or reduction. I will just put simple example here. If we go from methane to methyl chloride, what happens to the oxidation state of carbon? Now here it is +4 for 4 hydrogens and -4 for carbon. Now in this case this is -1, this is +3, so this has to be -2. So we are going from -4 to -2. This is oxidation. So replacement of hydrogen by electronegative element is oxidation. Replacement of hydrogen with electropositive element like metals, that is reduction, and so on. So you can verify it with by changing the oxidation number also. Now the oxidation states we have checked for all different functional groups, CaOH, CHO, ketones, esters, etc., wherein few rules are there. Carbon-carbon bond is 0, hydrogen +1, halogen -1, double bond oxygen -2, and so on. So you will find all those things in basic books also. Now we have started with some oxidizing reagents, starting with chromium trioxide, which works in acidic medium. Similarly, the other reagents, PCC, PDC, these are derived reagents with optimization in the activity so that reactions can be stopped at aldehyde stage and so on. So we have to keep in mind that these are derived reagents, specific reagents, and they have got some synthetic utility in terms that they are selective and there is no further oxidation. If we use chromium trioxide in presence of H2SO4 and water, the reaction will go up to acid. KMnO4, there are two applications as we have already said earlier. The first is addition across double bond, so that is cis vicinal diol formation. The second one is the benzylic carbon can be oxidized, and if we start with toluene or any alkyl benzene for that matter, it will be oxidized to benzoic acid. Now this is one oxidation wherein the alcohol DMSO and oxalyl chloride in presence of base, tertiary base, you get aldehyde. We will write down the mechanism once again for these things. So let us write down the first one. I am not cleaning anything here. Now I am going to put it from here itself. So pyridinium chlorochromate, let us put the structure. This is pyridinium chlorochromate. Now pyridinium ion is there. This is pyridinium ion and chlorochromate is this. This is one of the structure. The other structure also I have shown that Cl is here and then chromium trioxide would be there. So those are the things. Now oxygen of alcohol interacts. We can directly show that this attacks at chromium oxygen double bond, acts as a sink, and you can simply lose the Cl minus. So what happens is CH2, like this is CO minus, and then you will be having NH plus. Cl minus is out. Now that will be out as HCl, because this H and Cl, they form HCl. Now there are two protons, benzylic protons. I will just put it in this way, and upon workup, see, this becomes aldehyde and this becomes CrO, O minus, OH. Ultimately this becomes H2CrO3. That means chromium oxidation number is changing from +6 to +4, so that is reduction. So chromium is undergoing reduction and it is oxidizing the other substance. Okay, now this is about the first one. Now let us write it for second one. Now second one is KMnO4. Now the KMnO4, we can put it this way. This is KMnO4, where manganese is +7. Now we can show that we get a cyclic manganese ester. Now this Mn, now this ester is stable and you need a base to break this. So you can use base. Similarly, second molecule of second mole of base, and of course in presence of water or the workup, you can get the diol, the vicinal glycol, along with the formation of manganese salt. So that is about the KMnO4. The other application of KMnO4 is the oxidation, wherein your benzylic carbon becomes acids. Now that is application part, you can remember that also. I will just put one example for the sake of convenience here. Now this one, KMnO4 and heat, any alkyl group will become acid. So this is the Hirsch condition, and this is another application of KMnO4 as an oxidizing reagent. Okay. Now moving on to the next example. Now this is the Swern oxidation. Yesterday we have seen. I will just put DMSO here. This is dimethyl sulfoxide. This is oxalyl chloride. And I will just put this Cl here, or let me put the Cl as out from this. So what happens is, this is plus O, CO, CO, Cl, and one more Cl minus is there, okay, which is coming out. Now this Cl minus attacks here, this goes off, this goes off, this goes off. So ultimately what we have Cl here, this is plus, and now we have got CH2 or CH2OH, which is there. Now when this attacks, this goes off, and what we have is the bond between, now this sulfur is plus because it has got 3 bonds, and finally there are two ways you can show the formation of aldehydic bond. you can abstract a proton from here. This will ultimately abstract a proton. So what I will show, triethylamine abstracting a proton directly from here, and dimethyl sulfide is going off. So minus Me2S, and then you got to have the aldehyde. So this is one oxidation with oxalyl chloride and DMSO. Okay. Let me clean this so that we can use the board for writing other mechanisms also. Okay. Now the next one, selenium dioxide. These are specific reagent. Now selenium dioxide, as we have already said, this has got three application. One of them is oxidation of allylic carbon, second one is oxidation of benzylic carbon, third one is oxidation of alpha carbon. So this is one step. We can take another example. Now here I will put selenium dioxide straight away. So this is the mode. This oxygen takes a proton, the electrons comes here, these 5 electrons move here. So ultimately what we have a double bond here, Se double bond O OH. Okay, a selenium carbon bond is formed here. Now double bond is retained and you got a bond with oxygen. Now this O Se OH, and you can see that when this goes off you get the target molecule. So oxidation at allylic position is possible through this kind of bonding. Okay. The other applications are oxidation at benzylic center. Now benzylic group can also be oxidized with the help of selenium dioxide. Maybe in revision we will see all those examples. So let us finish the new reagents like manganese dioxide, rhodanium tetroxide. We have already seen one example. We will see one example for osmium tetroxide also. Now this alcohol, the allylic alcohol to be precise, is treated with manganese dioxide. Now this manganese dioxide is also termed as active manganese dioxide, and now you can see that the manganese oxygen double bond also serves as a sink and receives electrons from oxygen. So this is Mn double bond O OH. Okay. So ultimately you have a conjugated carbonyl, and what is happening to manganese dioxide? It is becoming manganese hydroxide. Now this oxidation number of manganese is +4 here, whereas in this case it is +2. So it is gaining 2 electrons and undergoing reduction. So that is the overall reaction wherein manganese dioxide is oxidizing the secondary alcohol to ketone. If it is primary alcohol, it will be oxidized to aldehyde, and so on. Now another example wherein we have to see the osmium tetroxide. Now osmium tetroxide, the advantage of this reagent is this is highly regioselective, chemoselective, stereoselective reagent, and the disadvantage is this is highly toxic and difficult to handle it has to be handled in fuming board and so on. So once again the mechanism is similar to KMnO4. This also forms a cyclic ester. Now this osmium ester is labile to water. So with water you can break it. Another water molecule I will show from the top, and you will end up with this vicinal glycol along with osmium OH. I am just randomly drawing the structure. This is osmic acid. It can be oxidized to osmium tetroxide, and for that purpose secondary oxidizing reagents like N-methyl morpholine N oxide, potassium ferricyanide are used. So this osmic acid is again transformed into osmium tetroxide, and this same osmium tetroxide can interact with another molecule of alkene, and thereby the reaction continues. So this secondary oxidizing reagent is very important because that is going to be cheaper than the osmium tetroxide itself, and that's why the catalytic amount of osmium tetroxide can be used, and the use is restricted to some synthetically useful materials or the precious materials, you can say. And for ordinary chemicals we can use the KMnO4 method. The disadvantage of KMnO4 method is the conversion is never 100%, and you end up with the more oxidized product, or sometimes the reactant is unreacted and so on. So these are some of the example. Now let me put some more example, and we'll see some name reactions like Woodward-Prevost. Woodward-Prevost hydroxylation, iodine, silver acetate, and water. This is first, second, and you get the formation of diol. Now if we use osmium tetroxide, you will get the vicinal glycol but with different stereochemistry. Now this is 2 alpha 3 alpha, this is 2 beta 3 beta, otherwise everything is right. The mechanisms are different, and therefore the products are obtained in different way. So I'll just put it for you. The double bond can be shown like this. Iodine, the formation of iodinium ion, the other part is common. Attack of OSC from the top. So you get the formation of O C double bond O CH3 and iodine. Participation of this is neighboring group participation. One can say O plus then attack of water molecule show this. I am skipping one step here, minus H plus. So this will be CH3 OH oxygen, and now I am drawing the ring here. So the other parts are same, and now I can show that this becomes hydroxy group 1 side and acetoxy. Now this is OAC, this is OH, and upon hydrolysis this acetoxy becomes OH. So this is your overall Prevost hydroxylation. This is OH, this is also OH. The same thing is shown here. So this is the addition of iodine across double bond, attack of OAC minus, neighboring group participation, you get this attack of water, get this intermediate, this breaks down into OAC and OH, and ultimately this hydrolyzes into this. So this is some of the reagents we have seen. There are some more reagents, specific reagents are there, so maybe next time we will see those reagents also. Tempo, IBX and all those specific reagents which are listed in the syllabus, so we will have to look at those reagents also, and of course I will come up with some more examples on these reagents, and once we are done with that we will start with the reducing agents, and finally we will solve the questions from earlier question papers, so that will be more handy. This is one of the question from the earlier question paper where Woodward-Prevost hydroxylation is compared with that of osmium tetroxide selectivity, and thereby the mechanisms are expected. This gives, osmium tetroxide gives one diol, this Woodward-Prevost gives another diol, explain. So wherein you are supposed to give the mechanistic answer to that, you have to draw the mechanism stating the reaction pathways are different, so therefore products are different. So these are some of the reagents we have seen. We have to see some 4-5 oxidizing reagent in this category, and namely IBX, Tempo, ozone, nascent the oxygen, and so on. And once we are done with that, we will revise few examples. Maybe next lecture I will take some more examples on these, so that some more practice would be there. And of course once we are done with that, we will move to the reducing agents, and reducing agents are the list is little small than oxidizing reagents, and hopefully after that we will go to the paper solving part. Some questions from the earlier question papers we have to do. Once we are done with the syllabus, I will spend some lecture sessions for solving the question papers also, so that it will be more handy for you guys to face the exam. Okay. For today this is all I wanted to share with you. We will meet in the next lecture, and we will have the more discussions in this regard. Thank you.